Introduction. Quinones are aromatic chemical compounds found in certain tropical woods like teak and rosewood. They can cause skin, eye, and respiratory irritation, and repeat exposure may lead to allergies or sensitization. In cabinet making and woodworking, quinones present in wood dust can pose serious health risks if proper protective equipment is not used. So here is the type of quinones. We have benzoquinones, quinones, and the last ones we have lepaco. So here is quinones can have negative effects on the human body, particularly if exposed across in large amounts or over prolonged periods. The effects depend on the type of quinone, its reactivity, and the duration of exposure. Number 1, we have skin and eye irritations. Benzoquinone and other quinones can cause irritation to the skin and eyes upon direct contact. Hydroquinone, although commonly used in cosmetics, can cause skin irritation, especially at higher concentrations. Number 2, we have oxidative stress. Quinones can produce reactive oxygen species ROS in the body, leading to the cell, protein, and DNA damage. This oxidative damage can contribute to premature aging and the development of degenerative disease. Next, number 3, we have respiratory issues. Wood dust containing quinones, like from rosewood and teak, can lead to respiratory problems, including irritation of the airways or asthma. Chronic exposure to this dust can lead to long-term lung issues, such as chronic obstructive pulmonary disease (COPD). And the last one, we have systemic toxicity. Certain quinones can be absorbed in the body through the respiratory system or skins, potentially causing toxic effects on the liver, kidneys, and nervous system. For example, menadone vitamin K3 can disrupt liver function if exposed to high dose. Moving to the next, we have limit exposure. To limit exposure to quinones, especially in woodworking environments, workers should use proper ventilation system and wear personal protective equipment such as dust masks, gloves, and safety goggles. Dust extraction tools should be used during cutting and sanding to reduce airborne particles. Regular cleaning using HEPA filters vacuums can prevent dust buildup. And workers should be trained on the hazard of quinones and safe handling procedures. Additionally, minimizing the use of high quinone wood like teak and rosewood and limiting time spent in high exposure areas can further reduce health risks. Next, we have place of using quinone. Number 1, woodworking industry. Wood dust. Some types of wood, such as teak and rosewood, contain quinone compounds like naphthoquinones. When these wood are cut, sanded, or finished, the dust can release quinones into the air, exposing workers to this chemical. Number 2, we have cosmetic and skin care. Hydroquinone is a commonly used compound in skincare products like bleaching creams, acne treatments, and anti-aging products. It is used for its ability to reduce melanin production, skin lightening. However, prolonged use or high concentration of hydroquinones can cause skin irritation and other side effects.
At fieldwork, we use sampling technique, which is show how to collect air, water, or soil samples for toxicological analysis. For example, using an air sampling pump to measure airborne contaminants or a soil core sample to assess chemical contamination in the ground. Next is exposure monitoring. Demonstrate how toxicologists assess human exposure to hazardous substance. This might involve using gas detectors, personal exposure monitoring badges, or biological monitoring methods like testing blood or urine for toxicants. And last, is site assessment. If possible, simulate or explain how toxicologists visit industrial sites to analyze pollution levels and check for harmful substances affecting workers or the environment. Next point is laboratory skills. For the first one is personal protective equipment, which is PPE. We need to always wear lab coats, gloves, goggles, and appropriate footwear to minimize exposure. Next one is chemical storage and labeling. Store chemicals properly based on their hazard classification is really important because it can prevent contamination and misuse. And the last one is ventilation fume hoods. Toxic substance should be handled in fume hoods to prevent inhalation or harmful vapors. And the last part is conducting experiment in toxicology. Why is toxicity testing is important? Usually, experiments in toxicology are conducted to study how chemicals affect biological systems, helping to identify risk and establish regulation for hazardous substances. What is toxicity testing and what does it assess? The purpose of toxicity testing is to evaluate the harmful effects of chemical on living organisms. This data is crucial for determining safe exposure levels and setting regulatory limits. There are two types of toxicity testing. For the first one is cell culture assays in vitro testing. This method involves studying cells in a controlled laboratory environment to understand how chemicals interact at a cellular level. And second one, animal models in vivo testing. In contrast, in vivo testing is conducted on animals to evaluate the effect of chemical on complete biological system, providing more comprehensive insights.
Now, let's move to the harmful effects of quinones. First of all is an acute exposure, which is short-term exposure to high level that can cause eye irritation, leading to discoloration of the conjunctiva and cornea, and also skin irritation that causing redness, swelling, and blistering on contact with skin. Second one is chronic exposure, which is long-term inhalation exposure can cause cumulative damage to various body systems, such as neurotoxicity that can oxidative damage to neurons and neurodegenerative disease like Parkinson's disease, and also gene toxicity and carcinogenicity, which is our DNA attack and induced mutation that can increase risk of leukemia, possible lung, liver, or bladder cancer. The third one is cellular toxicity, which is quinones are classified as toxic if swallowed or inhaled that can cause respiratory irritation and distress, such as burning sensation in the nose and throat that can cause coughing, wheezing, and shortness of breath. And the last but not least is environmental hazard, which is we all know that quinones are highly toxic to aquatic life that can lead to long-term ecosystem and toxicity, and also can disrupting ecosystem such as soil and water that can affecting food chains over time.
Next, we moving to discussion part. Discuss the sources of quinones and how they relate to the industry. Number one, we have chemical synthesis. Source: quinones are directly synthesized through the oxidation of aromatic precursors such as phenols, hydroquinones, and anilines. Relation to industry. Okay, this is a primary route in the chemical industry for producing quinones, which it serves as intermediates in the manufacturing dyes, antioxidants, and catalysts. Number two, we have the dye and pigment industry. So the source is quinones-based compounds such as anthraquinone dyes are synthesized and used for coloring, textiles, and plastic. So this is relation to industry because the dye industry heavily relies on quinones due to their stable, vibrant colors. Wastewater from their production often contains residual quinones or their precursors.
In conclusion, quinones are known as hazardous substances with significant toxicology effect that they can enter human body through various routes and interact physiologically, and potentially causing irritation, sensitization, and even carcinogenic effect. And also, handling quinones requires strict safety protocols that we need to always emphasizing the importance of proper laboratory techniques and field works.